We are here on another blessed day and another dose of Did You Know, where intriguing, unique, inspirational people come and talk about how love and life have brought them to where we sit today. And with me today is Captain LaDale Slocum. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. Good morning. How are you?
I am doing great. I was like, good afternoon to me. Good morning to you. And it all works. We're going to have a great day. And it's a great way to start it, I think.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's beautiful outside. So I'm looking forward to the day.
Yes. So you have led an amazing life from as a child to where you are right now. When I was reading your bio, I was like, what an inspirational man, because there were many times that you could have put your hands up and become the victim, put your hands up and gone a different path. And you chose heart, and you live by 4 things, which I'll let you tell everybody about that because I didn't write it down, so I'll get it messed up. But loyalty is one of them. Love is another.
I live by, there are 4 rules that I live by and that I try to teach my kids and my officers. Honor, first, respect, family, and, it's those rules. I'm leaving one out. For whatever reason, I'm trying to blank.
That's all right. That's the story of my life, LaDale. Story of my
life. But for those rules, they keep us honest. I was raised that way. My mother was a pretty strong person. She battled her demons, but she was a strong person. And, that's the foundation of what we do. And that's the foundation that I built my home and my family.
Yeah. Talk a little bit. Well, first of all, tell everybody, what is it that you do? Who are you?
So I'm 39. I'll be 40 on August 8th.
Just a baby.
I'm a father, first and foremost. I'm a father. My wife and I, we had 3 children. My 16-year-old, she passed away 2 years ago. And we have 2 more babies, Ayana and Aaliyah. And I'm a husband, first and foremost. I'm a father, I'm a husband. And those 2 things I love very dearly. And I am a captain where I work in the Hunters Point, San Francisco area as director of public safety and security. We have a lot of responsibility in that area. It's not, I wouldn't say a poverty area, because it's a beautiful neighborhood. It's just the scenery all over the place. It's surrounded by the bay. It's surrounded by bridges everywhere. It's something out of a movie, really. But there are a lot of issues on that hill. Drugs, depression, mental stability, money is an issue. Like I said, I wouldn't say poverty, because there's a lot of hardworking people on that hill, but violence, unfortunately, has plagued that hill, has plagued that area. And right now, my officers and I, excuse me, are charged with the responsibility of protecting the people who live there, protecting life, property. And I take it very seriously. My officers take it very seriously. And, we're a family. And I grew up in the heart of East Oakland, and I've seen what violence can do to a family, what drugs can do to a family, what mental health could do to a family. And I definitely want to contribute to changing these things rather than sitting on the sidelines and talking about it.
Yeah. We look, especially how you were raised, you could have gone one way or the other. We are we can become a product of our environment very easily, and then we can also very easily not become a product of our environment. What made you What made you pick the path that you picked? Was it difficult? Was it easy? I know you said your mother, she was a strong woman, but she dealt with her demons. Could you see that strength even though you could see her struggling with her pain?
Yeah, I mean, growing up where I came up, the police was, they were not, I wouldn't say the police were in the position they were in now, but because we didn't have social media then, we didn't have all of that other stuff, everything that we have now, TikToks, Facebook, everything. But there was definitely a line there. Where I came up, you weren't going to be a police officer, or you weren't going to work in law enforcement or public safety. You were probably either going to go to jail, you were either going to be on drugs, or you were going to die before you reached 21. And I've seen a lot of people pass away. I've known a lot of friends that have passed away, and a lot of friends that have gotten hooked on drugs and everything. My mother had a drug problem, and I watched her battle it. And mind you, she was a great woman, a good woman. She raised three great kids. I have two other brothers, one 19 now, and another one that is 30. So we came up, we were stable, but unfortunately we moved around a lot because like I said, she's battled her demons. But the reason why I chose the path I did is because, I was raised to be a protector. My mother made it very clear that no matter what, you protected your family, you protect your brothers. They're number one in your life. And I fell into it. It just kept coming, but no matter what else I wanted to do, it just kept coming. My original plan, I wanted to be a train operator. I wanted to drive trains for a living. That's all I wanted to do. And my dream job was Amtrak. I wanted to drive trains for Amtrak. And, that didn't work out.
No, you went in a totally different direction.
Yeah, well, it went to a whole different direction. And once I got into this line of work, I fell in love with it. And when you're blessed with the position that I am in now, and you're blessed with the capabilities to be able to do and assist and give back in this line of work and in this position, especially with everything that's going on now.
Yeah.
You stick with it. I believe whatever God has written for you, you roll with it. You don't go against it, because he gonna tell you different.
Oh boy, when you go against it, I know from personal experience, you do not win. It never comes out right.
No, you don't. You don't win. So, I just roll with it. Whatever he says, that's what we go with.
Now, you've built a great foundation in your unit. You have worked your way through, and you are captain now. Talk a little bit about that, and what does that look like? I want to know the inside of your unit. How do you develop such a strong bond within them?
Well, first and foremost, you have to get to know your officers. You need to know them all individually, and you set the foundation. The foundation is family. We are a family. These officers spend a lot more time in my department than they probably spend at home. A lot of these guys, they travel 100 miles one way and 100 miles back. So this is sometimes it's a 2-hour drive for them, and they work 10-hour tours. Sometimes depending on what happens that night, that day can turn into a 16-hour day. The one thing that I preach to my officers is that, one, you're serving the community. You're not here to be their dictator. You're not here to be their bully. You're not here to beat up on them and everything. You're here to protect them. Yes, you're enforcing the house rules, the lease agreement, the penal code, the laws. That comes with the job. But first and foremost, how do you go about helping? So it's we deliver groceries. We deliver food once a month to people who are shut in and can't get to can't get to the grocery store. They're on Tuesdays and Fridays. I sit down with my guys and I have dinner with them because it's just important. I want to hear about how's your day going? how's your week going? Is everything okay? Is there anything I can do to help? Anything going on at home that you might want to talk about? Sometimes they just need to come off the street and just breathe. Just give them an hour. So we have a full kitchen at our station. So you need these guys they can cook. So they will cook, and we'll cook together, and we'll eat together, and it's about like I said, it's the foundation of our department is first family, and then it's honor, and then there's respect. Yeah, there's the one I was forgetting. So, and we live by those: honor, respect, and family.
Yeah.
And they I always tell these guys, if you're gonna do this, be dedicated to it. It's a thankless job. You're gonna get a lot of people who are gonna yell at you, curse you out, spit at you, tell you you're nothing, whatever. But when that call comes across the radio and you gotta go, you gotta pull all that out of your mind and go help people. Because
Right.
there's a lot of people out there where the uniform is just, they just use it as they want to just vent. So just let them say whatever they're gonna say. But at the end of the day, you still are responsible to protect those people.
Right.
So I like I'm very finicky, if that's even a word.
It is a
I'm
word.
very finicky on who I hire,
Yeah.
because I just don't want anybody coming in here playing John Wayne and cowboy. I want you to come in here and learn our way of protecting people and protecting property. And if you're not about community policing, then and you're not about family, and you're not about honor, then I don't want you in my uniform.
Hmm.
It's as simple as that.
Well, you can tell when you were describing the hill.
Mhm.
You can see the pride that you have in it, the beauty. You can see past, maybe the chaos that can be created. I mean, we're all humans, you
Right.
know. There, and I always say, where there's good, there's evil. You can't have love without hatred. They are
Right.
two and the same, and they can become very interconnected at times. So having, I feel like, a leader as yourself, that really helps because you can see people for who they are. It's not just one, we're not just one bucket. The people on the hill aren't just like, they don't all just fit in this bucket. The people in the city just all don't fit in this bucket. Every officer all just doesn't fit in this bucket. We're individuals. I mean, God
Right.
made us great in that way. So what are some of the things that you do to help people see people as individuals instead of just a police officer or just someone who lives on this side of town?
Well, some of the things that I do is, with regards to my officers in training, I try to keep them trained. Well, with COVID, we had to shut down everything as far as training, but um, I try to reach out to the individual agencies throughout the Hill, or nonprofits that work within the community, because I want my officers to know how to be able to um, protect and police their community. You get a lot of officers that come out of the area that are not used to seeing this type of situation, and I want them to learn from people who work within the community, who live within that community. The only way you're going to learn how to protect the people that you are charged with the responsibility of protecting is to learn from the people that live there. You can't
So
just come in.
true.
You can't just come into this job and think, oh, I just graduated the academy and I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to save everybody, throw the cape on my back, and it doesn't work that way. It's not a movie. So what I try to do is reach out to local nonprofit agencies that work within the community and have them train my officers. They need to see the other side of training, not just the use of force training and all the other stuff we got to do,
Right.
but work with those nonprofits, hear those stories, hear those examples, see that you can probably address problems a different way rather than the physical way or the aggressive way. I think since I've been up there, and I've been captain almost 2 years, because I believe in de-escalation. I don't believe that you need to lock everybody up. Majority of the Hill is African American. And I don't believe that locking everybody up is the way of doing business anymore. We need to change the way that we're doing law enforcement, and putting everybody in jail is not solving the problem.
Right.
I believe in de-escalation. And since I've been up there, I think we've only in 2 years, I think we've maybe arrested 6 people, and that's probably because they did something that was just so egregious and and just outlandish, but at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer in training and educating. And you cannot do this job or any job, but especially this one, without the education and the amount of education that's required. And some will say, well, how much education is required? It's You never know. It just keeps going because this job changes every day. Every day something is different. I'm like, oh my God. But if you further educate your officers,
Yeah.
then you probably will avoid the nonsense that's going on in the world right now. A lot of agencies, either security or public safety or police departments, they get complacent and they stay tunnel vision. Me, I'm like, look, man, pay attention to the world. Things are changing, and
Mm-hmm.
we change with the world. I believe in holding a certain standard. I don't believe that, that everything that's going on protesting wise is right, but they are protesting for a reason because people are just tired of the nonsense, but
Mhm.
my number one thing as far as anything, above all, we need to educate our officers. A lot of them are young, a lot of them are stuck in their ways, but the way, if you're educating people, they will more than likely begin to change.
Well, I think it creates more empathy. If you
Right.
aren't used to a situation, you don't grow up in a situation, how are you going to know? You're not going to know unless you are put into it. Like you said, through the nonprofits, you understand. And this world is fast moving with technology now and everything at our fingertips. You have to stay up to date with the community that you're in, especially when you are serving that community. So what kind of changes have you seen, or have you gotten a lot of flack nowadays? Is it harder to do your job?
Yes. And well, it's, for one, you have to understand people are frustrated.
Yeah.
They're frustrated, they're angry, they're tired, you know. You got all of this stuff coming down on you. Got COVID-19. Yeah, you're if they were going to work, they've lost their job, or you're worried about your home, your car payments, and then you got to worry about a police officer or somebody beating you up or shooting you or something like that. What I have instructed my officers to do is, one, don't take it personally. It's The world is on fire right now. And until we can come together and meet at a round table and discuss how we fix these problems, um, it's going to continue. What in my little circle, I have just, I meet with the guys daily, and I just tell them, look, man, you got to understand, from a black man, it's hard seeing this as it is, but being a black man in authority,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely, you're straddling both sides of the fence. Um, what we've done is, we just allow people to just vent. And I don't have a problem with people venting. As long as, if it's respectful, we're not threatening anybody, we're not,
Right.
trying to get physical, and then respond. But respond respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
Respond like you have some common sense. Because again, a lot of the people that I hire, a majority of them are from out of the area,
Right.
and they come from nice, stability and stable neighborhoods, and they're not used to this situation. And then when they come in, it's like total shell shock.
Yeah.
But we have to be mindful, that again, law enforcement itself has changed, and it is continuing to change. And some of it's for the good. I think that, we've been doing things in this line of work the same way for too long. It is time to change some things. We're in 2020 and we're still living like we're in 1960.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's time to change some things, and people need to learn how to adapt to change rather than fight it. That's the problem with a lot of officers.
Yeah, well, it is. Just like within everything, we're humans, we become complacent. So,
Mhm.
I mean, this happens in our relationships, this happens in our jobs, this happens in a career field, and that change can be scary. People butt it because it's the unknown. It's our natural way is to fight against change. You
Right.
know, but change is needed or we'd be back in the stone age still. You
Exactly.
think of all of these revolutions that we've had. Do you find you hold a bigger responsibility because you are a Black man in authority?
Yes. I mean, it's one of those things where um, you have to always be mindful that you're just not a Black man in a uniform, and you're not just wearing blue and everything. You have to be cognizant of the fact that the reason, I think, the reason why I'm able to express things to my officers and come to them from a because I don't have time to be use $10 words and all that. Just we'll keep it strictly 100, like my daughters say. Um, I come from a neighborhood like the neighborhoods we're in right now,
Yeah.
and I've seen it. I've seen it when it was worse than what it is right now. And mind you, let's be clear, Hunter's Point again, I'm blessed and to be able to work there. It is a beautiful place,
Yeah.
but like I said, there's just some bad people there. There's bad people everywhere,
Mhm.
So I mean, but my whole thing is to be able to again educate my officers that not just because you see so much bad on this hill does it make this hill bad? And I tell that to the same people that I meet in community meetings and town hall meetings. And they're always asking, well, we want more law enforcement, we want more policemen. That's not always the answer.
Right.
You have to take ownership in your own community and not expect the National Guard to keep coming in here and knocking everything down. It's have ownership in your own because this is your community. I leave here after 10 hours a day.
Right.
You live here. So how do you want to change this? It's not just, you're not throwing it back on them, but as someone who has
Mhm.
probably lived there over 40 years, what are you doing to help change this?
Yes.
And rather than complain about it.
Mhm. Yes, there's a difference between voicing an opinion, voicing what you want, protesting, and then going home and doing nothing, right? That's just
Mhm.
sitting back and complaining and throwing a fit, in my opinion,
Right.
or voicing your opinion and then how either asking for help or coming up with a plan, even if it's a terrible plan. There
Right.
must be, we have to put our effort in. And so I love that you hold people accountable. It's needed. It gives them actually, when I feel, my opinion, when you give people, you're telling them that they are worth more than what they think. Their
Mhm.
opinion values, their life values, and you are giving them maybe something that they've never had before. Maybe people have always thought there's nothing I can do. I'm just a little old lady or I'm just, XYZ. And when you can say no, you have thoughts that matter. Let's hear them.
Right.
That's giving them ownership and we need that. We have so much feeling of lack and that we can't make a change. So I think
I
that's a
don't
blessing.
I don't think a lot of people in the Black community, especially in this community, I'm just going to focus on Hunter's Point,
Mhm.
have been given a voice. I think the only time that the city recognizes them, in my opinion, is when something happens to them, rather than going up there and listening to what can we do to help change your community for the better? What can we do to help, rid this community of violence? I really wish one day you can come up there and take a ride with me. I mean, there's just so many beautiful areas of that neighborhood
Yeah.
and that on that hill that you can just see water forever. And you just sit there and it's just so peaceful. And one thing that frustrates me about city government or government period is that, you know, we stay on the reactive rather than the proactive.
Yeah.
There are families up there that are afraid to speak to government or law enforcement. There are families up there from where they come from, because we have a lot of different ethnics up there. Where they come from, they don't talk to people in uniform or government officials. Well, we need to learn how to make them more comfortable so then they can speak to us. Because in my opinion, everybody opinions matters. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, they live there. So how would you like us to do this? That's what I want to hear. Would you rather us to patrol less, patrol more, get out and make contact with people more? Do you want to see us, you know, help you paint a building? Whatever. It doesn't matter. But I want to know how we can do this better. And a lot of people in my line of work are so close-minded. All they know is protocol.
Right.
Well, it doesn't have to be like that. I don't believe in functioning like that. So, I'm hoping that later, down the line, and we get through 2020 and all this craziness, that people's eyes were open and understand that, everybody opinions matter, from the 90-year-old to the 2-year-old. We need to listen to everybody.
Yeah. I think you're creating an amazing blueprint for others to follow, because you are so right on. It's not one way or the highway. It's the collaboration of everybody. I say that in the veteran world, it's not one nonprofit or one person or one organization that's going to make the difference. It's the collaboration of everything. So brain, like, aha moment here, it's the same in the community. It takes
Absolutely.
all of those opinions.
Mhm.
And it even takes understanding the opinions that maybe they're not making the right choices right now, but when you can understand why and what they're thinking, you can help guide them to not make those choices anymore.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, I am so blessed that Alan, thank you out there, introduced us,
Yes,
and
Alan,
he
thank
came.
you. Alan pushes me in directions that I never thought I would be going. So, thank you, Alan. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it was needed. I am so glad. I mean, you opened. I don't know the last time I talked to a captain about his area, and I'm going to apply the things you learned into what you said about your community into my own life, especially the ones where when the opinions that I don't agree with, or when they're acting out, stop, listen, learn, because you need all sides of it. And we have to remind ourselves in this day and age, I feel every day, multiple times a day, we need all sides. We need to listen to all sides to come together to make that change.
That is definitely, I agree. That is definitely it's like I said, when you sit back and you think about what's going on, it's sickening. You become speechless, but then you also sit back and say, okay, well, how am I going to start the change where I am?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that, if we all stop, if we all start listening and stop talking and just allow people to you never know what you're going to learn.
Right.
And, my thing is, the more we can learn about the people that we're responsible of protecting, the better that this community, or whatever individual community that person may work in, the better that community is going to become. My goal here is to make my community, as long as I'm responsible for it, a great, safe place to raise kids, to have a family, and to be able to live without, wondering who's going to start shooting outside, or, I got to hit the floor when somebody starts shooting. I don't want people to live like that. I want the people to just live comfortably. There's enough going on.
Yeah. Well, you might have a surge of applications, because if I was in a police officer, if I was in that field, I'd be like, that is who I want to work with.
Bring them on. We'll take them.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your life and a little bit of who you are. You are a true inspiration in this world. And I have kept you long enough. You are a very busy man. I will let you go do everything. And everyone out there, as always, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, we will see you. Take care.
See you later.
Something. Hold on.